Lesson 10, Part 3, Structure of Greek Phrases with Adjectives. In English, an adjective almost always goes before the noun it modifies. In Greek, the adjective can come in a variety of places, sometimes even being split from the noun it modifies by quite a few words. But it can have a different meaning based on its closeness to the definite article. If an adjective comes right after a definite article, the adjective is attributive, a regular adjective modifying its noun. If an adjective does not come right after a definite article, but the word it's describing does, the adjective is predicative, which means a predicate adjective. If an adjective is predicative, there will be no verb given in Greek. The form of is must be added in the translation. Greek can make a sentence without a verb. English cannot. If there is no definite article, you will need to determine if the adjective is attributive or predicative based by the context. Normally, this is pretty easy to determine because there's no verb in the sentence if it's predicative. Let's take a look at some adjectives. We have agathos, anthropos. There are no definite articles here, so we have to figure out if this is attributive or predicative based on the rest of the sentence. Now here, this may or may not be a full sentence. We don't know. There's no period at the end, and I've just pulled out a small piece. If it were in more of a sentence and there were a verb, then we would say that it means a good man. Or if this is the only thing we have in the sentence, agathos, anthropos, that's the whole sentence, we have no other verb, then it has to be predicative, and it would mean a man is good. We would need to supply that is. Now, flipped the other order, anthropos, agathos, it would mean the exact same thing. The order does not matter at all. Now, if we add in a definite article, ha agathos anthropos, we're looking at the adjective and whether or not the adjective has a definite article directly in front of it. This adjective does, so it is attributive. That means it's like a normal everyday adjective describing the word that comes right after it. We don't have to supply any extra words. So this means the good man. And there'd be more of the sentence, probably a verb and then some other things. Now let's look at this one, ha agathos, ha anthropos. There are two definite articles here. The one we're concerned with is the one that comes before the adjective. Is there a definite article in front of the adjective? Yes, there is. We have this definite article right here before our adjective. We don't care that there's a second one. That actually doesn't matter. That one's actually not going to get translated. Because there's a definite article in front of the adjective, it's attributive, it's a regular everyday adjective, it means the good man. Now let's look at this one. Totally different order. Anthropos, ha agathos. What's the question that's the first thing in our mind when we're looking at an adjective? Does it have a definite article directly in front of it? Adjectives right here in blue. Yes, there's a definite article in front of it. It does not matter that there is no definite article in front of the noun. That makes zero difference whatsoever. Because there's a definite article directly in front of the adjective is attributive, and it's going to be a regular adjective, the good man. Here's another order. Ha anthropos, ha agathos. Question in our mind. Is there a definite article right in front of the adjective? Yes, there is. So this is going to be attributive. It means the good man. The only thing that matters is there a definite article directly in front of the adjective? You can look at this for all four of these. These adjectives have a definite article directly in front of them. That means it's automatically attributive. Now let's look at this one. Agathos ha anthropos. First question in our mind, is there a definite article in front of the adjective? The answer to that question is no, there is not. That makes us have a second question. Is there a definite article in front of the noun? Yes, there is. That means that agathos is predicative. That means we're going to supply the word is. The man is good. The man is still the subject. Agathos here is describing anthropos. They match in gender, number, and case. That's how we know that agathos is describing anthropos, even though it's in a different place than we would expect. But it's in the predicative position. So we're not going to say the good man. We're going to say the man is good. We're going to supply that is. Now, I want you to think for just a moment. Let's jump back to this first example and compare this first and this last example. Here we said, first, is there a definite article in front of the noun or in front of the adjective? And we said no. Same thing up here. Then we had to ask a second question. Is there a definite article immediately in front of the noun? This one here, the answer is yes. This one here, the answer is no. When the answer is yes to this second question, then the adjective is attributive because predicative, because there is a definite article somewhere in the phrase. But this one up here at the top, there's no definite article at all. That means it's either attributive or predicative. We have to figure that out by context. When there are no definite articles at all, it could be either one. If there's a definite article somewhere, then it's definitely one or the other. We have to determine which one. But if there's no definite article at all, it could be either one. So watch out for that. That can be pretty important. Let's look at another example. Ha anthropos agathos. First question. Think of it for yourself. Is there a definite article right in front of the adjective? Adjective is right here, agathos, not directly in front of it. Now, there is one further ahead. That doesn't matter. All we care about is if it's right in front of the adjective, and it's not. So what second question are we going to ask ourselves? We're going to ask ourselves, is there a definite article in front of the noun? Yes, there is. So now think to yourself, what does that mean? If there's not a definite article in front of the adjective, but there is in front of the noun, what does that mean? That means it's going to be predicative. The man is good. And notice it didn't matter which order these came in. They meant the same thing, both of these two examples. Now notice that the only part that matters is if there is a definite article at all, and if there is a definite article before the adjective. I probably should have switched those two. We think first, is there a definite article before the adjective? If not, then we need to check and see if there's one in front of the noun. So we've sort of got three different things going on here. No definite articles at all. It could be either way. Definite article in front of the adjective, then it's going to be attributive. Definite article, none in front of the adjective, but definite article in front of the noun, then it's going to be predicative. We really need to get that firmly entrenched in your mind because that's going to make a big difference. Now, what doesn't matter, if there is a definite article before the noun, when we're looking at some other things, like that's why I said if there's a definite article at all, that matters, because if there's not a definite article at all, we're going to go for either way. But especially when there's a definite article in front of the adjective, it really doesn't matter if there's one in front of the noun or not. That makes no difference. Consider now how the adjective can change form based on what it's describing and what the noun is doing in the sentence. So, ha agathos anthropos blepe. The good man is seeing. This is attributive because there's a definite article directly in front of the noun. Here, the adjective is masculine singular nominative because it's describing something that's masculine singular nominative. It's describing the subject. Blepe tan agathon anthropon. He is seeing the good man. If I'm not mistaken, I think all of these examples are going to be attributive. So here, agathon is masculine singular accusative because anthropon is masculine singular accusative. It's describing the direct object. Blepe tan wian tu agathu anthropu. He is seeing the son of the good man. Here it's masculine singular genitive because the word it's describing is masculine singular genitive. Lege to agatho anthropo. He is speaking to the good man. Here, it's masculine singular dative because it's describing an indirect object. Hoi agathoi anthropoi blepusi. The good men are seeing. Here it's in masculine plural nominative because what it's describing is masculine plural nominative. Blepe tus agathus anthropous. He is seeing the good men. Here it's masculine plural accusative because it's describing something that's masculine plural accusative. Blepe tus huius ton agathon anthropon. He is seeing the sons of the good men. Masculine plural genitive. Lege tois agathois anthropois. He is speaking to the good men. Masculine plural dative. Now let's look at some feminines. He agathe basileia blepe. The good kingdom is seeing. Because kingdom is feminine, we've now changed agathos into agathe, a feminine form. Feminine singular nominative, feminine singular nominative. It has to agree with the word it's describing. Now, this is important to notice. The ending might be different. This has an A ending. This has an A ending. That doesn't matter. What matters is this word is feminine singular nominative and this word is feminine singular nominative. Incidentally, this word over here, our definite article, is also feminine singular nominative because it's describing the words in this phrase. All the words in the phrase are all going to match because they all go together. Blepe tain agathane basilean. He is seeing the good kingdom, feminine singular accusative. Blepe tan wian tes agathes basileias. He is seeing the sons of the good kingdom, feminine singular genitive. Lege te agathe basileai. He is speaking to the good kingdom, feminine singular dative. Hai agathai basileai blepusi. The good kingdoms are seeing, feminine plural nominative. Blepe tas agathas basileas. He is seeing the good kingdoms, feminine plural accusative. Blepe tois huiois ton agathon basileon. He is seeing the sons of the good kingdoms, feminine plural genitive. Lege tais agathais basileis. He is speaking to the good kingdoms, feminine plural dative. Now let's look at some neuters. Tan agathon teknon blepe. The good child is seeing, or he is seeing the good child. It's either neuter singular nominative or neuter singular accusative. We really can't tell in this sentence because the neuter singular nominative and neuter singular accusative are always the same. And it's third person and it's singular. So it could be the subject or it could be the direct object. We would have to have more context to tell. But what's important is whichever gender number case this is, or whatever case this is, it matches in gender number and case. If this is neuter singular nominative, this is neuter singular nominative. If this is neuter singular accusative, that's neuter singular accusative. It's going to be the same one. Blepe tan agathon teknon. He is seeing the good child, or the good child is seeing. Again, it could be neuter singular accusative or neuter singular nominative. We can't quite tell. Oops, that should be ta, not tan. Blepe tan adelphan to agathu teknu. He is seeing the brother of the good child, neuter singular genitive. Lege to agatho tekno. He is speaking to this good child, neuter singular dative. Ta agatha tekna blepusi. The good children are seeing, or they are seeing the good children. Again, neuter plural nominative and neuter plural accusative are the same, so it could be either one in this sentence, since this is third person plural and this is third person plural. This one here can't flip because blepe ta agatha tekna, blepe is third person singular and ta agatha tekna is plural. It is third person, but it's plural. So ta agatha tekna cannot be the subject of the sentence because it doesn't agree with the verb. So he is seeing the good children, neuter plural accusative. Blepe tus adelphus ton agathon teknon. He is seeing the brothers of the good children, neuter plural genitive. And lege tois agathois teknois. He is speaking to the good children, neuter plural dative. Notice all of these are in the attributive. So the word good goes right in front of the word that it's describing in our translations. And the main thing we're focused on here is the form of the adjective is determined by the gender, number, and case of the word it's describing. Note, The ending of the adjective does not necessarily match the ending of the noun, but they will match in gender, number, and case. That can be seen in the feminine examples above. We have a endings on these and we have a endings on these because they have to follow their own rules. What matters is that they have the same gender, number, and case. Also, this is going to be a little bit weird. Observe hadas, which is a feminine noun that has quote unquote masculine endings. Hey agathe hadas mene. The good road is remaining. Feminine singular nominative. Hadas, even though it looks masculine, it is a feminine noun. It's a feminine second declension, which is really weird. If you want to think of it as a tomboy adjective or a tomboy noun that might help you a little bit, it acts like a masculine noun, even though it is feminine. It is feminine. It can't change that, but it looks like a masculine noun. But because it is feminine, this word right here is feminine singular nominative. The adjective describing it is going to be feminine singular nominative. And the definite article is going to be feminine singular nominative. It has to be because this word is feminine. Next example, blepe tain agathane hadan. He is seeing the good road, feminine singular accusative. Blepe tan tapon tes agathes hadu. He is seeing the place of the good road, feminine singular genitive. Lege te agathe hado. He is speaking to the good road, feminine singular dative. Hai agathai hadoi blepusi. The good roads are remaining, feminine plural nominative. Blepe tas agathas hadus. He is seeing the good roads, feminine plural accusative. Blepe tois tapois ton agathon hadon. He is seeing the places of the good roads, feminine plural genitive. Lege tais agathais hadois. He is speaking to the good roads, feminine plural dative. Summary. Attributive. The structure of a phrase where an adjective has an article right before it. Predicative. The structure of a phrase where an adjective does not have an article right before it, but the phrase does have one somewhere. The endings of an adjective do not always match the ending of the noun it describes, though they will always match in gender, number, and case. If there is no article in a phrase with an adjective, look at the context to determine if it's attributive or predicative.